Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Lake to Lake Girls, amped up version.
Yeah. We have
some good stuff to talk about today, I think.
Something we've touched on before, but we want to highlight again.
We really do, because you really don't... Oh, by the way, we're your host, Amanda Tiffany. Another episode.
In case you didn't know.
In case you didn't know. But we have talked about this in the past. And
Yes.
I know that Beth Lynch has covered it on her show Inner Lately. And
it's all over the news right now.
it is.
It's
everywhere.
a pretty hot topic, I feel.
I mean, right now, actually, the Philippines are a really big hot topic.
Yeah, well...
But aside from that, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you mostly see it in teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
But
They
it's
seem
not...
to be the ones most affected.
Yes,
or
but it's
that you
not
hear about in the media.
limited to. And you hear stories about it happening, and it doesn't really cross your mind to, like, you understand and you care, but then, you know, it's not the same as it happening to you and you knowing, like, a personal experience of what it feels like. And it's bullying.
Yeah, specifically cyberbullying. Yeah.
Yes. Now, the reason that we are bringing up this topic again is because it has hit one of us in particular. It's not, and I don't want to, it's only fueled the fire, I guess, for us. And I kind of want to start a campaign.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Around kids around this area.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
You know what I mean? In high schools. Because, I mean, granted, it
middle
happens.
schools too. I feel like middle school is when it
huge.
really is really bad.
Yes.
Or starts anyways.
And I know the perfect public speaker I'm going to try and get a hold of this week that maybe we can get in on next week's show. Because, I mean, it impacts you like a ton of bricks.
When someone attacks you on a screen, whether it be through like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, you know, whatever kids are using these days.
Whatever they're using these days.
You know, when you, and actually, Louis C.K., did I say that right? The comedian.
Yes.
He was on, it was like Letterman or Jimmy Kimmel, I can't remember, one of those like late night talk shows. And he was talking about, because he has two daughters who, they're young, I think like elementary school, but one's like starting to get a little older, like tween age, and she wants a cell phone. And he kind of went into this like sort of long story. I won't go into it because, you know. But anyways, he basically said and he doesn't want his daughter to have a cell phone because he doesn't want her to have access to like social media and things like that before she's ready.
Before you're mature enough to handle such a... I mean, granted, you don't think about it being a mature thing, but it really is.
Yeah, and because he was talking about in school, like even when we were kids, we didn't have social media. We had AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, for those who might not know.
MySpace.
And MySpace at like the end of high school.
Yep.
That's all we had.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We didn't have to deal
Facebook
with this.
was limited to college
students,
kids. You had to have an EDU account in order to have Facebook.
Yeah.
And now it's blown up to where literally I've seen animals with Facebooks and babies that aren't even born yet with Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone has a Facebook now. But,
it is not limited.
You know, back then when you were bullied, it was very, I mean, it wasn't necessarily any less hurtful, but it was very much in your face.
And you were able to deal with it directly.
Yeah, it was a lot more... less anonymous, put it that way. And he talks about how, so say I'm going to call that person a name, I'm going to call them fat. And then, you know, and you see that reaction that person gets, like that sadness and that like empathy hits you and you're like, ooh, that didn't, you know, that doesn't feel good. Maybe I shouldn't
say something like that.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And do that. But then he talks about how when you're behind a screen, whether it's a phone or tablet,
there's
computer,
no filter.
You say that, and he's like, ooh, that feels good. You don't get that spark of empathy like you would if you were doing it face-to-face, or you know what I mean? Like, not
you get the
in cyberspace.
Human emotion here.
Yeah.
There's interaction, and there's, delivery and response. So you could get the full circle effect. On the internet, it's just, I don't care. I'll say what I want.
you hide, and it's an extremely cowardly thing to do.
It is.
And you hide, you're hiding behind a screen. You can do it completely anonymously. And it turns, in Florida, what was it, last month or 2 months ago?
The
two girls
got in trouble with that
arrested.
as well.
It turns your child into a sociopath if you're not, being a good parent.
If you're not careful. And the parents even got legal charges against them.
Good. As they should. Where was the parents when this was happening?
Exactly. Like
weren't you...
It's starting to take wind. It really is.
And so that's, like, in, like, a context with, like, tweens and teenagers and stuff. And, like, I feel I have, like, nieces and nephews who are teenagers. Getting to and, that age. And, like, my one niece, she's 13. She has, like, an iPod Touch. It can only get Wi-Fi, but it's kind of, like, it's almost like instant messenger where you can, like, text people or whatever. And you can, like...
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, but it has to have, like, a Wi-Fi connection. It's not like a cell phone. And you can get apps. Like, she has Instagram on it. So she has an Instagram account and things like that. I'm pretty sure it's private. But, like, I'm so thankful we didn't have that.
Me too.
As kids, because once in a while I'll look, like, at comments that other kids say and stuff. And it's just, like...
Where's your manners? Where's your human decency?
Yeah.
Why would you take things to that level?
Yeah. And, that's sort of in that context of, like, younger kids. But it can happen to anyone. It can happen to us. It can happen to you. Where literally anyone can go on the internet, on any site, and completely, like, spread false accusations and start rumors. Because... I don't know why. I don't know why people do it. I don't know why people spread hate. Because that's what it is.
It is. It's breeding hate.
And it's so simple. If you don't like something or you don't like someone, just don't listen to them. Stop watching the YouTube video. Because I have seen it on YouTube a lot where people leave such disgusting, nasty, hateful comments.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like... Who are you
to sit
there? If you really don't like something, it's the internet. Click off of it. Or
it's the television. Yeah. Turn the channel. Radio. Yeah. Turn the station.
It's just so...
Freedom.
Immature.
It really is.
So immature for someone to attack someone else. And...
Now...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You had a thought. You finished your thought. Because...
Well, because that really does affect people. Like, we both have pretty thick skins where it's like, you know what, hate is going to hate.
They really are, exactly.
There's nothing you can do about it.
But what about that person that does not have the thick skin? What about the person that does not have the ability to just let it go?
Or if you're, like, genuinely being, like, harassed. Yeah.
I mean, those are the kids that need you to stand up for them. Those are the adults, even. I don't even care if it's not even just adults. Those are the people, I'll say in general, people, not just kids, but people who need people to stand up for them and not have this, because say something to us, okay, we're public, technically, figures.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say what you have to say. Who cares? You don't have to watch. But what about the kids that don't have that option? And they're thinking, my only way out is now I don't want to live anymore.
Yeah, suicide. I actually just Googled signs your child is being cyberbullied. We can talk about that. Because...
Let's do it.
I had a thought and it just left me. Come back. Come back.
Don't leave me.
Oh, okay. What I was going to say is I actually saw an ad this morning. My mom, and I had seen a similar one in a magazine before, but my mom pointed it out to me in the Finger Lakes Times. I think it was like the Sunday newspaper in the classifieds, and it's this big like half-page ad, and it's all black, except in white letters, it says "You are worthless." And then in smaller wording, it's like, this is what bullying, like, I can't remember what it said, but basically this is what you deal with every day of your life when you're being bullied.
Yep.
And I think it's so important for teachers, coaches, parents, babysitters, anyone who works with children to, sort of be aware of these signs, because a lot of kids might be suffering in silence. You know what I mean? You know, they might be sort of going through this, and you might not quite recognize what it is. So I clicked on stopbullying.gov. Sounds very official, so we'll go with that.
Mm-hmm. It's .gov.
So, signs a child is being bullied. Is bullying others?
You see the post itself?
I do.
About your child? No, I meant, like, that's a good sign that you see the post about your child.
Yeah. I thought this was about cyberbullying, but this is good too. Unexplainable injuries. That makes sense. Lost or destroyed clothing,
disturbing.
Books, electronics, jewelry. Frequent headaches or stomach aches, feeling sick or faking illness. That's a pretty good one, because if you feel like, you know, that can be stress manifesting itself. Change in eating habits, like suddenly skipping meals or binge eating. Kids may come home from school hungry because they didn't eat lunch. Difficulty sleeping or frequent nightmares. Declining grades, loss of interest in school, not wanting to go to school. Some loss of friends or avoidance of social situations. Feelings of helplessness or decreased self-esteem. Self-destructive behavior such as running away from home. Self-harm, talking about suicide. That was, I think, more general. I wanted to find, like, ones of cyberbullying, so let me keep looking.
Yes, keep looking. Well, I'm a soccer and basketball coach, and before every season, we have, like, a coaches meeting with all the student athletes, and hear that, student athletes, by the way. I always tell them it's a privilege, it's not a right to be able to play. But besides that is, there was this year, I told you about that seminar that they held.
I know. I remember talking about it in the beginning of the school year.
I'm going to talk to our AD and see if I can get his contact information and see if I can get him to come in here, because
that would be great.
His presentation was just beyond impressive, and it just really struck home and just hit it to a T, nailed it completely. Because as a coach, my first practice, when it was soccer and basketball, part of my opening speech was, I don't tolerate bullying. I don't like bullying. I don't believe in bullying. If I hear of or witness any kind of bullying, I will not hesitate to throw you off this team in a heartbeat.
I never remember any coaches, like,
saying anything like that
ever.
Well, I don't necessarily feel like I was really bullied when I was a kid, but I know how it like feels, because of my sister, who has special needs. And I was brought to tears one day because she came home and she told my mom that, she asked my mom, do you think, am I stupid? And no, why would you even think that? And she goes, some girls that are at school were saying things, making names at her. And I mean, obviously she didn't understand the full impact, but it hurt her enough where she did get the gist. Yeah. And it broke my heart. Yeah. That anyone could be so malicious to somebody who, especially to somebody who obviously is a special needs. Like, how is that like, genetics is not her fault? How, like,
kids are so mean to each other.
Cool. They really are cool. Yeah. And another important thing is to remember, like, you don't want to look back on your teenage years and regret everything that you did. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things that you do back then matter. Things that you say, it means really something. Affect people. It really means something.
Yeah, exactly. And I think online, too, people think, oh, you know, this is going off into a void. No, this is very potentially affecting someone's self-esteem, you know, affecting their life. And I just want people to sort of, like, take a minute and think, how would I feel if someone did that to me? You know what I mean? Like, how would that really make you feel? You know, it's that old golden rule, do unto others as, you know, you would have
do unto you.
Done unto yourself. So just think about it. So I actually found a definition of, or kind of, what is cyberbullying? You know, you might be like, all right, so there's bullying, cyberbullying, like, what the heck? Basically, cyberbullying sends mean, vulgar, or threatening messages online. It's posting sensitive, private information about another person, which I kind of want to touch
that
back on
could be true or untrue.
Yeah, pretending to be someone else in order to make a person look bad, or intentionally excluding someone from any online group. Something I read in a Cosmo magazine. I can't remember. It was recent. I don't remember the month, but talking about it was like something like accidental porn or something like that. Well,
Okay.
yeah, the name it was. So you're in a relationship with someone, like you're, of age, consenting adult, and you send them a naughty picture, basically.
Yeah.
Then you break up, things go sour.
They send your picture
There's
out
these
to
websites that is, and I had no idea this existed. There are websites devoted
Yes!
to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It was in my show prep for work. Oh my god.
Okay,
Yes.
so-
Keep going. I will continue with this video.
Devoted to basically shaming your ex.
Mm-hmm.
To be
I can take you one step further after
Yeah.
that. Keep going.
All right, and so, because they saved it on their phone, and they post where you work, your home address, your parents' information, and then all these other people, like, gang up on you. Like, this happens, and states are now trying to, and there's not a laws out there to handle this, because this is a fairly new phenomena.
It really
Think
is.
about it. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, this wasn't really happening like this.
It really wasn't.
No. So, laws are trying to, there's like why can I not say that word? Advocacy?
Advocacy, yes.
Oh my God. That are forming out there that are, approaching like legislators to be like, look, you need to, write these laws into effect because this is a serious problem and these people aren't being held accountable and all this other stuff. And so I'll let you go on with what you
Taking
were
that
going to say.
one step further, okay? Are you ready for this?
Okay.
She's a homewrecker.com. I kid you not.
What?
I
I'm gonna look this up.
kid you not, okay? One, it's about a man being untrue to his wife, girlfriend, however. And this is the woman acting out, posting their picture, their name,
Oh, wait, I think I've
where they
heard of
live,
this.
who they are, and people commenting on this. This is how bitter people are. Now, okay, granted, he cheated on you. He's the one that cheated on
Yeah.
you. He's the personal one in your life that cheated on you. You should take it out on him, not this woman.
Not
who
the other woman.
You don't know the full circumstances. Okay, if she knew, she's a homewrecker.
Yeah, I mean, it's still wrong.
It's still
but
wrong.
It's like letting the guy off the hook.
But a lot of times, men are playing you,
Yeah.
and this other person maybe does not know that there is another person. If they do know, that's shady. That's really bad. That's disgusting. But this literally
is-
has their names, their pictures, their information,
homes.
different stories where their homes are. Like, if you scroll down, there's a bunch of them, and people comment and say things, mean, nasty things.
So this is like if my husband or boyfriend cheated on me, I would post the other woman's pictures and information.
Instead of taking it out on the guy.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's not like
This is like,
granted, she did what she did. She's wrong. But the person who really hurt you, the person you're really mad at,
yeah.
you're letting them basically off the hook.
Yeah. Huh.
Like, it's to a whole new level, right?
There's a website for everything. Jeez.
She's a homewrecker.com.
That's
I can't
crazy.
believe it's so funny you said that because this blows my mind.
So this that's so,
Shiesty.
yeah.
And the worst part is the people that put these up, look, there's no so-and-so wrote this. No. It's all anonymous.
It's completely anonymous. And what if this wasn't true? What if someone was just trying to, like,
Be nasty.
yeah.
I don't
And-
like this person, so this is what I want to do.
Yeah. I had no idea such a thing existed.
There's a Facebook one for this too,
Oh my god.
because I researched it because I did it for my
Yeah.
other job.
And it's extremely, once your photos, your names, your information is on a site like this,
It's on there.
extremely difficult. Not impossible, but it sometimes been extremely difficult to get this off because employers or whatever, they Google
They can
people.
search your name and something
Yeah.
like this comes up.
Yeah.
You're affecting now
gosh.
their life.
Yeah.
Like, this is what hate breeds as a child.
Yeah.
Hate into adulthood. This is what it happens. Granted, the situation behind the homewrecker one, it's a little, it's wrong. It's
Yeah, we're not condoning it by any means.
We're not condoning it by any means, because cheating is just not right at all. Not in the least bit of form. But to have it go to this level, elevated to this, like, where's the face-to-face interaction? If you have something to say to this person, say it to their face. And, like, don't hide behind a computer screen.
Yeah, I mean, cyberbullying is, like, the ultimately cowardly action, like bullying action. It really is. So kind of to bring it back.
Yes, bring it back. Bring it home.
I found what are signs of a child being cyberbullied. Long hours on the computer, fear of going out of the house, trouble sleeping, behavioral changes, mood swings, which we kind of talked about before, lowered, I can't talk tonight, self-esteem, frequent visits to the nurse's office at school requesting to come home, falling behind schoolwork, aggressive behavior, secrecy about internet activities. Let's see if there's anything else on here. Excuse me. So, okay, tips for dealing with cyberbullying. What if you find out, your cousin, your daughter, your son, niece, nephew, whoever, the kid you babysit, you strongly suspect they're being cyberbullied, or you know that they are, you've seen the posts and everything. What do you do? How do you react as an adult? Well, it says here, do not respond, which I think is very smart, because your first initial reaction might be to, I'm going to show you, like, blah, blah. You're actually just perpetuating the viciousness. Yeah. Yep. And you might be, what am I trying to say? Like, you might be doing something illegal because then you're an adult harassing a child.
True. That's a good point. I mean? I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. That could be legal action.
So don't respond, but then also do not erase that image or that message.
Print that out.
Save it.
Keep that stuff.
Yeah. Screenshot it, because you want that to back up. In case you end up having to go to school officials or authorities, you need the evidence to back it up. Okay, so then consider filing a complaint to the providers of the email services, cell phone companies, websites in which the messages were used to be sent by. Then try to identify the individual doing the cyberbullying. And that can be kind of hard to do. With
all these anonymous blogs and forums and raves, rants.
Yeah. Try to identify the individual cyberbullying. Then contact your school if the bullying is occurring through your school district's internet. Interesting. So if it's coming, like, through a school computer, I would read that as.
You can trace IP addresses.
Oh, yeah.
Where things came from. Like, ultimately, you could find out who is doing it, but it takes a lot of legwork to do something.
Yeah, and even then it's hard to prove.
Like, it was that person. Even if it's so many people use the computer or whatever.
Even if it's like their own username, they might not have been the one to log in with that username.
There's so many.
It's hard to
different pieces. Yeah,
but it's definitely doable. Then it says contact the police if the bullying involves acts such as threats of violence, extortion, obscene phone calls, stalking-like activities, and child pornography. So,
I wouldn't like to think that things would get taken to that level, but they do, unfortunately, and that breaks my heart.
It really does. Oh, man. Ooh, important links. BeSafeOnline.org, cyberbullying.ca, StopCyberbullying.org. Click on one of these, see where it takes us.
If anybody's interested in helping us start some kind of local stop bullying campaign, just to really try to inspire these kids to really think about what they're doing before they do it, and really, really let it hit home how they're treating other people. I mean, just contact me, Tiffany at fingerlakes1.com. Maybe you already know of something that's already in the works. I know that there's the suicide walk that they do every year to raise awareness for that kind of thing in Auburn. But I really want to get into local schools and see if there's something that we can do in particular.
Presentations or something like
that. Bring experts in to talk to these students. To have kids share their personal experiences with bullying. I mean, it's hard to see stuff like this happen. And honestly, it doesn't really hit home to you until it happens to you. Like,
when it personally affects you.
When it really sucks to say that, like, you can have empathy for me if I'm getting bullied, right? But it's hard to really understand
unless you're personally going through that pain.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what saying. I mean? And I want us to stand out for the people who won't. And who feel like they can't stand out for that, and feel like they don't have any place to go. Like we can have gatherings or groups or something that they have an outlet to where, you know, they don't really feel as alone. You know what I mean? I'm so fired right now. I'm so fired up.
I feel it.
You feel my energy. You feel me. Man.
Yeah. What was I watching one time? I can't remember now. I think it had something to do with bullying, and there's this speaker, this guy who would, you know, go into middle schools particularly, and he would do these assemblies about, you know, bullying in general, and he would call people, like kids from the audience, to come down and, you know, share a couple of words or story with their classmates. Oh my, I started crying, watching it.
Right?
You know, just seeing,
it impacts you.
Yeah.
When you see it firsthand in front of you with someone that you know. Like, if you were to tell me a story about if you were to tell me one of those stories just to my face right now, I would probably start crying because I can feel like how it makes you feel.
Like, this one kid, he was you know, in like 6th and 7th and 8th grade, you know, boys haven't quite like hit their growth spurt yet, and this like little guy, he's super cute. You could tell he like you know, had like a good sense of humor about him. He volunteered to come up. And, you know, people were, like, clapping for him, like, blah, blah, blah. You could tell he was popular. But he was saying, you know, he started, you know, I, like, lost it. And he, like, started saying how, you know, I'm the shortest kid in the class. And then he started talking about how, you know, comments that people would say to him about his size and things like that, you know, really affected him. He started crying. They started crying. I started crying. I'm just watching the video. You know, because it was so...
But you're also emotionally in tune. I really feel
heartfelt.
Like you're...
I'm, oh my God.
I think you're an emotionally attuned person.
Ugh. It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. It really is.
I feel you.
Yeah. So, I agree.
I start crying at UNICEF commercials. It's really bad.
Like, the ones that are the worst with, like, the puppy dogs. With the Sarah McLachlan song singing in the background. I'm like,
I will remember you.
I'm like, turn the channel.
I do. I can't take it. I can't take it.
Oh my God.
There was a post on Facebook I saw the other day. Did you see this? Where there's cans with the corpses of animals in it.
Oh, no,
did you see it?
I did not see that.
It's talking about shelters that can't house all these animals.
Oh, that's sad.
And they're not being euthanized because of illnesses or anything. They're being euthanized because there's no space.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that.
It's literally taking like into account people who say, oh, like there's a difference between strays and people who just don't want their animal anymore. They don't want to take care of it anymore. And like it goes on to talk about how where I'm moving doesn't have, you know, it doesn't allow animals. Okay, well, there's probably somewhere where you're moving that will allow animals.
Yeah.
Or they're talking about like the different excuses people give. I don't have time to, you know, I
think it's a good idea, and then...
But you get the animal, and you get it, and then you're giving it up because you decided that, and now it's going to a shelter because you can't find it at home, and now this is what's going to happen. And, like, it broke my heart. I started crying seeing all these pictures of, like, dead animals in these tubes.
I did not see
like,
that.
Piled on top of each other. Oh. I just started bawling. Yeah. I'm going to start crying now. Thinking
no, I know. I know. Oh, man. Computer's not plugged in or something. Sorry, I just so yeah, what else can we say about prevention? Let's see. What's parents' role?
You find it?
Kind of. It's kind of a long article.
Ouch. That really hurt.
Yeah, this basically just talks about, take a printout of all instances, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I want to get some experts in here and talk about this issue.
It'd be like this. It doesn't even have to be this particular man. I mean, I would love to get people in here to tell us their stories if we could. If somebody wants to, if you are open enough to be able to open up about
comfortable in this sort of forum
situation. I mean, it's really not really awkward. There's 2-3 cameras in here, and it's really cozy.
We're basically
nice.
just talking to each other.
Yeah, it's just a conversation between us. Contact me, Tiffany, at fingerlakes1.com. We can set it up. You come next week.
Or they could even go on our Facebook page.
Yeah, Lake to Lake Girls, and just leave your story there. We'll read it on the air. I mean, and just so that you can get a feeling for what this does, what this does to people, and what you're doing to people. I can't fathom it. I can't fathom treating somebody so poorly, even underneath the mask of a computer screen.
I know, what could move someone to really go out of your way to be nasty to someone else? And someone who does that, a lot of the times, bullying isn't really so much about the other person. It's your own insecurities, your own unhappiness
that you're projecting.
Yeah, exactly. That to make myself feel better, I'm going to bring you down.
I'm going to bring you below me.
Yeah.
And try to make you feel worse about your life because mine right now, I can't handle what's going on. And that also breeds to why are they not handling what's going on in their life? Is it something that is so?
Yeah, with kids, who is it their home life? It could be a whole host of different things, but.
It could be a lot of stuff.
For adults,
money, stresses, work stresses, not having a job, being able to provide for your family. All these stressors can unleash that
mean, bitter,
it's like a monster
nastiness
that just envelops your whole body. And I feel like that's not even just, it's like an illness.
Yeah. Don't spread hate.
People are.
I'm trying to think. I would be honest about this too. I don't think I've ever purposefully left a really nasty message for someone or a comment. I've definitely seen things on the internet that I thought were stupid or inane or just dumb, or I'm like, who do you think you are? This is ridiculous. You know what I mean? But I've never. Sounds a little self-righteous, but whatever. I've never been
so
go die, you stupid, which is what, people say. And
you know what I feel like that is for us, though? We were brought up in such a small town,
yeah.
It never would fly. And what I really feel like the small school that we were in, there was bullying, obviously, and, but I don't
but
think
not
it
to
would
the
be...
extent, you hear stories of other places. At least
people
not with our
being
class.
kicked and beat, thrown into lockers. I mean, some of these, I'm a Lifetime person. I love Lifetime. And they have meaningful movies like this that hit home on these different kind of issues, and bullying is a big one. And real life stories of this person, and then you see them being thrown in the bathroom, their clothes being ripped to shreds, and it's really happened, being punched and being kicked and verbally abused, and you just...
and girls are so mean to each other.
Girls are bad. I think girls are the worst.
Yeah, to generalize, I think girls are worse than boys.
Boys can fight and then it be over. I feel like it's more often that they fight and it's done.
Yeah, it's more in your face, sort of it is more physical. With girls, it is
calculated,
nasty.
Calculated, malicious.
Turn your friends against you, sort of. Yeah.
It's sickening.
I'm sure people know what we're talking about.
I'm sure people can connect exactly what we're talking about. In one way or another, every person, I feel, has been bullied. I don't care if you're the most popular person in the school as a high schooler, or if you're the lowest person that you feel is on the totem pole, in terms of stereotypes and everything. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. You've been bullied. You've had your feelings hurt at one point. I mean, granted, sociopaths, they have no feelings. They really don't.
They can't distinguish right from wrong. There's
chemically something off. But also you have to recognize that as an outside person looking in, right? Wouldn't you say that? Like, recognize when that is happening, and if it is happening, be like, yo, listen, you need to go. You're not welcome here if you're going to be like that.
What's another thing, too? Bystanders. People who sit
and
silently,
watch it happen.
You know, you might even feel like, oh, I don't agree with this, but you don't want to speak out because you don't want to be targeted yourself. You don't want to seem like, you know, out of line with what's cool or, you know, whatever, what's sort of in for your school. And I'm thinking like teens and tweens in particular. You really, you know what I mean? Like, you're letting it happen. And that can be hard to do.
I feel like that's worse.
Like, to stand up. Yeah, like to, you know.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's worse.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the bully is being a bully, but there's a reason behind that. One reason or another, and it's probably not a good one.
Yeah.
Then there's the bullied, and that's just nowhere you want to be.
Yeah.
I think it's worse to be an onlooker watching it without saying a word. For me, I feel like that's worse.
You know, because I agree too, because that allows it to happen
and keep on happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think
that's just as I don't know if ignorant is the right word.
Maybe our campaign that, you know, you're talking about wanting to start, it should be sort of like about encouraging people to stand up when they see, you know, if you are, but, you know, don't be a bystander.
Stand up, stand out.
Oh, I like that.
I like it.
We're going to copyright that. Don't steal it.
It's ours.
I like that. I think maybe, you know, focus on, like, not standing by, you know, when you see something like this happening.
I had to figure out how we would get something like this in the works. Because I don't want it to be a small thing. I want it to be a widespread, hit home every, like, there. I am there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's a step in the right direction. Is it going to be a cure-all, end-all? No.
Probably not. But if you can help one person.
Exactly. It makes it all worth it.
Yeah. If you can tell someone you're not alone, you know what I mean, in experiencing this, there, you know, a lot of people, unfortunately, are experiencing it. And also, you know, encourage young people to stand up for each other. Be like, you know, no, that's not okay for you to call that girl a whore and a slut. You know, it's not okay for you to, like, talk about her home situation or, you know, if she's...
any problems that she might have.
Yeah, you know,
what she does, like, on her personal time.
You know, if she's poor or, like, you know, she doesn't have, like, as nice things as you do, or if they're a little different, they sort of go to, you know, beat of their own drum type of thing.
I mean, we could even take it back to being prejudiced. Like, old school, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just, you know, you're fat, you're thin, but I'm talking, like, color of your skin.
Yeah, color of your skin, things like,
Yeah, different things like that. Something that might make someone stand out.
You're different, so I don't like you because you're different, is basically what it comes down to.
Ignorant. I hate ignorance.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, what we all love is also what is, like, creating an avenue. Like, freedom of speech is a beautiful thing. It really is. I love being able to come on here like
talk
this.
About whatever the heck we want.
Exactly. And have that avenue that we have to vent out, to express how we're feeling about something. But it also allows for people who maybe shouldn't be on the internet.
Yeah. Don't use it maybe as wisely.
Yeah. And don't really understand fully what they're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, fully do not understand exactly what they're doing. And later in life regretting it. Especially if you're a young teenager lashing out against someone else because, oh, she stole your boyfriend. Okay. Or, oh, she in kindergarten wouldn't share a toy with you, or, you know, she's not a cool kid, so I'm not lashing out against them. It can affect you later in life.
Oh, yeah. You carry those scars for a long time.
In terms of, but I'm also talking about, like, in terms of looking up someone's name, like these women that you look up their name. Oh, yeah,
that's very true, in more practical ways. Yeah.
Affect you from getting a job, affect you from getting into school. A part of the seminar that I told you about, it talked about 2 basketball players who were being looked at for college scholarships. Remember I told you about this? And they were both phenomenal players. only one got a scholarship. When the coach asked, why is only one? They're both great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we checked his websites, the ones that he accesses, and he was a bully, being negative, being mean, being nasty, and it affected him from getting into a school.
Yeah.
It affected his future.
Yeah.
And who are we to sit by and let that happen to a kid who maybe not be mature enough to make the right decision? Kids screw up. Okay, we get it.
And unfortunately, it's for all the world to see now.
With social media,
it's for the
entire world to see and follow you forever. It's going to haunt you for forever. Mm-hmm. I have this police blotter, and this is kind of sort of related but not, for work. And it's when you get arrested, it's public information. Yeah. We post it to our website. Mm-hmm. And teenagers, when they get arrested for something silly like stole something from Walmart, a small
like shoplifting,
item, or possession of a small amount of marijuana. I get them all the time, and I, by my job, have to put them up because that's what I'm told to do. Mm-hmm. I get phone calls all the time. Can you please take that
parents?
down? No, from kids and parents. Can you please take that down? You're going to affect my kid from... now, this is an extreme example. You're going to affect my kid from getting into school. You're going to affect my kid from getting a job. And this is what I mean. This kind of, like, social media and the internet.
Yeah. Well, it ties right into when back in, I don't know, in the beginning of the fall... like 300 teenagers broke into Brian Holloway's home near Albany, New York, and completely trashed his house. And they, like, posted it, like, shot by shot on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And it's just like, are you insane?
Why? Where did you think that this was okay?
And then, like, the parents were, and then Brian Holloway, he started that website. The Help Save Me 300 website, where he posted the kids' names and like what they like their social media handles and stuff, and he got so many angry phone calls from parents saying, "You need to take this down. This is going to affect my child's chances of getting to college." Well, hello,
your child posted it
themselves. It's now public property. It just gets me so fired up and mad.
I'll take you one step further. The the girl that wore a Halloween costume that depicted...
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. A marathon bombing victim. Yeah, Boston marathon bombing victim.
Death threats to her. Death threats to her family. And all of these mean and nasty things.
Didn't she have like a picture of her license on Facebook for some reason?
I don't know, but they found her.
I saw it on BuzzFeed, and
a whole lot of hate on this one.
And she got fired from her job. Interesting how it was completely tasteless and really
awful
that she thought it would be a good idea to dress up as a Boston Marathon victim.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was thinking. But then she started receiving death threats from people.
Breeds hate.
It's insane to me.
Hate breeds hate. I'm sorry. Not breed.
I know what you're going with. And she also had a picture, and it was on somewhere, that she had posted herself of her license. And I'm like, all right. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, this girl has like 2 brain cells.
Ignorance
because
and internet.
Why would you?
It'd
be like posting your. Oh, I got a new credit card here. I'm gonna put it on Facebook. Why would you?
Here, steal my identity. Have it. It's yours.
Why would you put that on Facebook? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So it's just it baffles me how stupid some people are. But yeah.
There's not much to say to that because, I mean, really, there's no thought in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was completely and like
senseless.
It was completely senseless,
tasteless, and all the above.
Even like bombing victims, people who were seriously injured.
How can you possibly laugh at that?
They were like, "You're completely insensitive. Like, how dare you?" Basically, like mock or like kind of make light of what happened to me. I almost lost my life.
In a serious series of events.
Yes. So needless to say, this girl probably won't do this again. I hope. Hopefully she's learned her lesson.
She's probably changed her name by now.
Yeah, she's probably learned her lesson. But she's forever now going to be known as
the Boston Bomber.
That dumbass who dressed up like that and then tweeted it.
It'll probably, for quite a few years, affect her ability to get a job.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Like, wherever you go, her name is everywhere on the internet. Because it's not just on Twitter anymore. It's not just on Instagram anymore. It's not just on Facebook anymore. It is national news that this girl did this. There's also 2 people who dressed up as the Twin Towers with people falling out of it as well.
My God. What? I did not hear about this.
The windows. That happened in Europe, I think it was.
What's wrong with people?
That happened. But, like, it shows how desensitized people are as well.
Yeah.
So you have 2 extremes. You have people who are so insensitive that this kind of thing happens, and then you have the super sensitive people who lash out against meh. I feel like it's a vicious circle, and it's
it's hard to deal with it. And I think part of this too that like can help you, like, I think just everyone can like step back and unplug a little bit. I get anxious.
I like that.
Yeah, I get anxious when I don't have my phone near me, but I think it would be good for us to all like unplug some, you know.
I try to keep everything I post positive when I post.
Oh, me too.
And like I would never verbally attack somebody.
I post like puppy dogs and like
I post a lot of
pictures,
like scenery. Hate on my scenery pics. I did get a lot of hate for my snow pic that I put up today, but I love the snow, so I'm good with that.
It's so cold out. Like, I can't stand people who put those like whiny, like histrionic, which is like attention-seeking behavior, sort of like
jealous,
things
envious,
like that, just like
craziness,
just like bitchy, whiny. Like, nobody cares. That's all I have to say.
Really, it's beyond true.
And I think we've talked about Facebook etiquette before.
We have.
Don't post anything unless it's like constructive or like entertaining in some way.
But if you have it is 6:48, so we're gonna end the show in about 2 minutes here. But we would like to start a campaign.
Yes.
We wanna rally this out because and the best way to start is our future, and that's our kids. And I feel like if you can help us, if you're someone who has been through it and can share your story, if you're a professional that has dealt with it before and you deal with it on a day-to-day basis and can come in and talk to us, please email me, Tiffany@fingerlakes1.com. Post your story on our Facebook page, Lake to Lake Girls. Or
private message us.
And we don't have to share names. We don't have to do anything like that. If you want to come in and want to talk, but you don't want to show your face, I can do that too. That's a new feature.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, we can blank out your face. It's totally like...
Can we like change
America's
the
Most
voice?
Wanted.
Interesting.
We would really love to hear what you guys have to say because, I mean, it's obviously not going away. Yeah. And unless we do something to make it better, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
And I really feel like having it nationally is great. It's national attention, but it's not going to hit home until we bring it close to home.
Very much, like a grassroots kind of effort is what I hear you saying.
Exactly. It's exactly very well put.
I'll talk to you after the show. I'm just thinking of ideas.
Of things we can do.
Yeah.
So, yes, please contact us if you guys have anything. We are the Lake to Lake Girls. We will check you guys back here next Tuesday from 6 until 7, hopefully with some very inspiring stories. And hopefully we got your attention. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.